So what is a fresh hop beer? A fresh hop beer is a craft beer made from hops that have not been dried in the commercial process. The hops have been harvested from the field and brought to the brewery in the same day without drying and put right into the brew kettle.
We use 100% wet hops in our fresh hop beers, meaning that we bitter with them. We use them in the boiling, throughout the boiling process, into the whirlpool, and throughout that whole process.
Wet or fresh hops don't last long undried, so they need to be used right away in the brewery so that they don't brown. But the result is a wonderful hoppy beer that has a florally bouquet unlike any beer you'll find year-round.
Would you come with me?
It has a nice fruity taste to it, and I imagine that these hops came from the Willamette Valley. I don't know.
Yes, they did.
But I know Tyler, the owner, pretty decently, and I imagine that he made this wonderful trip over there. You can taste the fresh hops as I drink this beer on my palate. It's just so lovely and beautiful and a delight. Cheers.
So right now I'm sitting at the brew house. The brew house is the two tanks where the water comes together with the barley and the hops and becomes wort, which is the liquid that the yeast will ferment into beer. So this is the mash tun where all the barley goes into. The barley goes into the mash tun. It sits at about 155 degrees and mashes, so the starches of the barley will be converted into maltose sugars, and the maltose sugars will then be taken and transferred into the kettle, and at that point it's called sweet liquor, and the hops are added. The kettle comes up to a boil and the hops boil for an hour, and then it's called wort, W-O-R-T, or if you're German you call it vert. And the vert then is transferred into the primary fermentation tanks and fermented out into beer by the brewer's yeast.
So we get really excited about it. The picking season lasts usually about 6 to 7 weeks, so we have a very small window. And typically what the farmers do is they'll pick certain varieties at different days throughout that 6-week period. So we have to really make ourselves available to what those farmers are picking at that time and choose our beers wisely on what we want to do.
So the process is the same for a fresh hop beer, except when the hops are added into the kettle to boil, they're not dried hops. They're green hops or wet hops. So they get added right into the kettle the same way and then boil. The same process as making regular ales and lagers.
Don't worry. Be happy. Be happy now.
The fresh hop beers that Silver Moon Brewing made in 2010 were the Wet and Wild Badlands ESB and the Hopopotamus. The ESB will be offered on draft in our tap room through the fall, and Hopopotamus will be offered draft and bottle in Bend and up in Portland. So make every day a real beer day.